This week we had to build our own JavaScript libraries. We had to choose from a number of functions. Excuse me, I don't have it like I thought I did, but we had to choose from string functions, number function, and array functions. I chose, I believe, 10 out of the 12 functions to implement, and it was pretty difficult. It was pretty challenging. I'm interested in seeing how everything will work in visual frameworks and how we're really going to be able to use the functions that we've built with this library. Um, I chose this week to use some additional resources to build my code instead of trying to just do it from scratch on my own and not really refer to anything other than the videos, which I found to be kind of confusing and not necessarily enough information, which is obviously why they provided us with the other resources. So this week I finally chose to do that instead of thinking I could do it on my own. Like I said, some of the resources, I tried to Google some of the stuff and just find some of how some of the functions work and some of the methods and stuff, and I kind of found that there are quite a few different ways to do the same thing, and finding the best practice, I guess, is what is considered optimization and, and bug fixing and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of makes more sense to me in that way, coding and everything. And in terms of coding, it kind of has changed the way that I think, and how I often wonder, especially how the POS system is coded at my job, because I realize there's a lot of conditional things, because we have a lot of forms that you select an item, and if you select this item, something else will pop up, and if you enter a certain amount, then it'll give you a check mark and stuff like that. So it's a lot of conditional elements that go into that play come into play, sorry, at my job. And I also noticed a lot with the resources doing the research. There's like a difference between modular and specific coding. I don't know if that's like the appropriate term, but that's what I use for it: specific versus modular. So using modular so you can reuse the code various times, versus specific, if you set a specific variable or a specific string, then you make it more difficult to manipulate or to use again, versus allowing a certain argument or something, for example, to be represented and used over and over again. So that pretty much sums up everything for me. I hope that I did well, and I understand it a lot more this time using the additional resources. I wish that I would have done it a lot earlier in the class, but you live and you learn. I hope everybody else does well, and look forward to seeing what everybody else has to say.